Hello everyone. Mallikarjun, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, we will go on.
Alright, so we'll be starting now. Hello and welcome to third and final day of Insight. I am Veba from third year mechanical department and an executive member of IEEE, and I will be hosting the talk. So for those of you who missed the previous 2 days of the talk, Insight is the annual IEEE NITK flagship event where we give a platform for seniors to share about their undergrad journey, academics, internship placements, and higher studies. So the previous 2 days we had seniors from computer science and Triple E and EC department. Today we have seniors from mechanical department. So any questions that you may have during the presentation, you can put them down in the chat, or you can also ask them at the end of the presentation directly. So without any delay, let's move on to our first speaker. We have Chandran Nandkumar. He's a final year mechanical undergrad student. He has interned at Bajaj Auto. He has also done research internships in IIT Bombay and at Indian Institute of Astrophysics. He also interned in business development at Q's. Over to you, Chandran.
All right. Am I audible, everyone?
Yeah, you're audible.
All right. Let me present my screen. Give me a second. One moment. Yeah, can one of you confirm whether the screen is visible?
Yeah, it is
Yeah, it is
visible.
visible. All right. So, hello everyone. Let me present my screen and I will start talking about this. So, yeah. Hello everyone, especially to those of you who just finished or are going to finish your first year and going to enter your second year. The objective of Insight is to give you basically an insight about what exactly you should do in your couple of years which you spend in college and how exactly that can impact or affect what exactly you do in your career or what exactly you do in your field of research and so on. So these are tips, techniques, ideas, concepts, advices which we'll be dishing out and telling you, which we feel that if someone had told us back in the day, it would have made quite a significant impact as such. So my name is Chandran. I'm a final year mechanical undergrad student. I've been a part of IEEE and ITK ever since my first year. I was a student member as well. And yeah, today I will be giving my entire journey of what all I've been doing in the past couple of years and what exactly I'll be doing in the future and giving you guys a couple of general advice with respect to the entire thing as well. So first off, what all did I do in my 3 years of undergrad? My final year is going on. I'm not going to count whatever I am doing this 1 year because I mostly won't be doing much because of the entire college applications since I intend to do my master's. So yeah, first I was a research intern at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. This was after my first year. So I got this internship via contacts because usually it's extremely difficult to get an internship after your first year because you neither have the technical expertise nor can you basically add on to any of the skills which or help a professor in a particular project. However, this contact which I got from my sister was something which helped me get a internship at Indian Institute of Astrophysics. So there is this telescope which is coming up in Hawaii, which is called the 30-meter telescope. So India, US, Canada, Japan, and China are some of the signatory countries for this particular project. And they're all making contributions to the development of this telescope. So when I was an intern back in 2019, this project was still in its development phase and I had to give some ideas, simulations, and so on. So it was here that I did extensive Python coding, and I did some design on CATIA. It was the first time I learned how to use CATIA as well. And I also did got my first introduction into research internships by going through multiple papers and so on. This internship is very significant because this is the internship where I figured out that computer science and the related jobs related to coding are totally not for me. I sat for around 25 days trying to do all these Python program related simulations and algorithms and so on. And I absolutely hated it. It was pathetic. I felt it was soul crushing to a certain extent. And for that reason, I decided that this would not be something which I would love to do for the remainder of my life, irrespective of how much it pays me. So that's one. There'll be a recurring theme throughout this entire presentation, and I want to highlight that at the end of it. So just bear in mind these points as I say. After that, second year, when second year ended was when COVID arose. So when COVID, actually I was supposed to do an internship at IISc, but and a lot of my batchmates were also set to do internships at IITs, IIScs, and other reputed organizations. But the moment COVID struck, it was all thrown into complete turmoil. Those who were in CS could somehow manage, but those in MEC and related co-branches actually did suffer quite a lot. So I decided to enter a field which I had not entered at all before, which was business development. And I have been interning at Q's. Q's is a company which is located in Chicago. The CEO is an Indian, and he studied in the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and he's like a really great person who has done quite a lot of things. And Q's is basically an education startup. So imagine a library of all the online content available out there, like courses, MOOCs, articles, everything, so that you can learn anything which you want under one roof. So that's the idea of Q's. I've been interning from my second year end. It's still ongoing. It has been a terrific experience. I'll give some details about it after this slide, but yeah, let me move on for now. Alongside this, there was this particular event which used to be held in NITK by the collaboration of ACM NITK and IST, which was called Imagineo. And they had this hackathon, this 24-28 hour hackathon, basically ended in an internship offer from this Fluxgen Engineering Technologies. And since I did not have an internship, and since Corona ruined everything, I did take it up, and it was a pretty good one again. I did some mechanical design using CATIA, and again was business intern with respect to sales over here. After that, started my next, my fifth semester. Fifth semester was pretty hectic, and although I did work on two projects as a part of IEEE, I only towards the end of the fifth semester could I start another research internship. This time at IIT Bombay, where I worked under a professor over there named Leena Vachani. I got it by cold mailing. So again, emphasis on cold mailing. It's a very useful technique, especially if you're in a position similar to mine, because I'll explain. I had some issues with the CGPA, and I'll tell you exactly why or how to counter this as such. So yeah, this was the internship. It's still ongoing. It's related to aerial grasping, basically, or quadcopters having arms to capture objects and stuff of that sort. So it's still ongoing. It's all simulations. It's pretty fun. Jupoli is one of the companies which is a startup by one of our alumni, and I've been doing business development and digital marketing. Although the number seems quite high, what I do want to emphasize is all of this is not extremely hectic in terms of the amount of hours they take. It's pretty light in terms of that. However, something which wasn't light was the research R&D intern Bajaj Auto Limited, which happened after my third year. So this was on-campus internships. Most of you who are in third year would have already sat or will intend to sit. And those of you who are in your first year going to second year, you guys will start preparing for this soon as well. So these internships as such are come to college, they pay a stipend, they are all taken under the entire, the shade of the college. So Bajaj came. My work was related to finite element method. So I basically had to do the differences between bolted joints in automobiles and see exactly what is the difference between various simulations. If I do a 3D meshing versus 2D meshing, if I do linear versus non-linear static, what are the differences which can happen? Then I've also done projects under another IIT Bombay professor. This I did as a part of my IEEE project after my third year. GTRE DRDO is the gas turbine research and engineering. Basically, it's a part of DRDO, and some of the professors in NITK wanted me to work along with them to solve a problem with respect to maintenance and prognostics of aircraft turbines. Prognostics basically means, so say for instance, I have an aircraft engine right now, okay? Aircraft engines after a period of time need to be serviced. If I don't know when it has to be serviced, then the moment it fails down, I have to put it in a shed, wait for the parts to come, make the changes, and then put it out there. But if I have sensors which are capable of telling me, okay, the aircraft engine, the scheduling is supposed to happen 1 month from now, I can pre-order and pre-purchase the parts and keep them ready before September 30th. And on September 30th, all I have to do is just assemble, and it quickens that entire aspect of sending an aircraft back into the field. So this was with respect to defense aircrafts. It's applicable even for commercial. But yeah, the idea is to reduce the waiting time which an aircraft has as it is waiting. So this is another project. I'm the chief coordinator of IEEE NITK. I am the head of powertrain at Baha NITK Racing. I am the head of debate society at LSD. I am the chief editor for Pulse. Pulse is the media body in case. And I've also participated in some Model United Nations competitions, case study events, and other competitions across this entire undergrad. So this is more or less what I've done in the past 3 years. And yeah, there's a recurring theme in this which I will bring out as well. So what are projects I did, apart from the ones which I mentioned in the previous slide? I also dabbled into a couple of them. Emphasis on the fact that I did not complete all of these. Some of them I left them halfway through once I derived what exactly was the point of it. So Karan Jawal, Meeta Lester's and CRDI engine was a IC engine based project where I basically had to look at, this was during the height of that entire Greta Thunberg and ensuring that global warming is a huge issue. Karan Jawal and Meeta Lester's basically helps you reduce the amount of emissions, and it's a greener source. You basically add this to diesel to make a more sustainable form of energy for the diesel engines as such, and to compare the addition of this to the normal 100% pure or the usual diesel which is being used. So that was one of the projects which I did. I realized then that this entire IC engines concept was not something which was for me, and I did this in NITK, so they have like proper CRDI engines and they run it. It's like a lot of fumes and everything. The entire environment was not something which I really liked. But yeah, it was a good learning experience, and I did manage to get some insights into this entire CI engines and so on. The next is your robotics. Robotics has been the love of my 4 years of undergrad. I've more or less done almost all of my projects are related to the field. I have worked on basic projects like line followers, then simulations of more complicated ones. One of the projects which I mentored last year had the entire neural networks, the usual stuff which you come across in robotics and stuff of that sort, that domain as such. I dabbled into product development. This was a pretty interesting concept, I won't lie. My Smart AED. So Smart AED was the project which I was supposed to do under CSD. AED is basically that machine which you see Mr. Bean used to, give a shock and wake up the person once they have a heart attack, right? He just goes and gives that shock. So that's an AED. So basically, my AEDs are set to reduce the risk of death from heart attacks by around 95%. Like if you have an EED and you use it rightly on a person who's suffering from a heart attack, the correct type of heart attack, then you can reduce it by 95%, which is terrific if you think about it. And that's more or less what I wanted to say with respect to the entire Smart AED. I hated fluids because fluids was a terrible field. According to me at least, I really didn't like how all of that came together. Even when I did the course, when I saw that Bernoulli's equation, when I saw all those equations and the entire thing, I personally have one of my closest friends is a total fan of computational fluid dynamics and everything. And I don't get it, just as he doesn't get my obsession towards robotics. So yeah, there will be some fields which you downright hate, and it might even be possible for you not to point a finger and say exactly why you hate it. But yeah, that's okay because you're not. It's the objective is not to love everything as such, but rather find one thing to truly pursue as such. I've done quite a lot of projects in business and finance, not done under any prof or not done under any certain enterprise or anything, but I've also been investing in the stock market. So I've been doing quite a lot of projects related to that and trying to understand the basics of that. Mostly related to some stuff related on Python and Google Sheets and so on. This project I'm doing under this particular the SOM department. It's basically shopping cart abandonment. When do you abandon your shopping cart? What are the reasons for it, and how can you possibly reduce it? So start with that sort. And my major project is AGVs. So AGVs are basically these vehicles which are used in your warehouses to carry goods. So I'm basically supposed to be working on a simulation for this. So these are the various projects apart from the ones which I mentioned in the internships. So what I want to emphasize on this is the fact that multiple domains have been covered, and throughout this talk I'm going to give advice which is going to be highly unconventional, and in some cases one could even say that it is pretty controversial because quite a lot of people would not agree with what I'm going to say today. But these are my views. Take it with a pinch of salt. Pursue or do what you think is better. But yeah, these are my ideas and what exactly I would like to advise you guys to do as such. Whether you're in third year, whether you're in finishing your first year, these rules apply at any particular stage. Now, my relationship with CGPA. So, CGPA and me have always been at crossroads. So, ever since I entered college, and I remember seeing, like, all of you will have classmates who are obsessed about the cumulative grade point average. And whenever I used to see that, it was honestly, I never liked that obsession. One could also say it was possibly being jealous, also. I won't deny that, seeing that how others could do extremely well with respect to CGPA. So my CGPA started off from sevens, and then this is the SGPA, and my CGPA finally managed to go above 8. Kudos to online semester, but more than online semester, kudos to the fact that the courses as you enter third year become more modern and relevant. So we started doing courses like control systems, automobile engineering, automation, and so on. This, as opposed to doing something like casting, which is just, I don't know, which at least I found extremely theoretical and rather boring, actually presents a divide. So even those guys going to second year do understand that even if you do come offline, you don't need to worry much. Only second year is pure mechanical. Once you enter third year, the really fun aspects of mechanical engineering, the very relatable, the modern aspects come in, and that honestly is extremely fun. Like I said, automobile engineering is one. Control systems is another beautiful one. Automation systems, even the mechanical fundamental concepts like vibrations and all are far more interesting than the ones related to manufacturing, which come earlier on. This is a personal opinion. There are many people I know who are interested in manufacturing as such. So if you're one of them, possibly third year might not be as great as second year. But yeah, it's up to you. So yeah, so CGPA, as you can see, because of all this extra work which I've been doing, and because of the fact that this entire conforming to the getting and maintaining consistency. CGPA at the end of the day comes down to consistency. If you can consistently do well in all the tests and with SEMs and NSEMs, you're set. But you mess up even one thing, then you have to make it up in another, and then it keeps compounding. It's pretty problematic. So that's my relationship with CGPA. Fortunately, it's crossed 8, which I'm really grateful to because of the fact that college applications will start. But yeah, CGPA is one thing which I will talk about in depth in one extra slide anyway. I also have a minor in management, and my minor CGPA is 8.5. So yeah, if you guys have minors, that is also, try to keep that also above 8.5. Ideally above 9, but yeah. So 5 advices which I need to give every single one of you. First advice, don't risk CGPA. So honestly, I am dreaming of a day when I can come and talk like this in front of you guys after possibly getting an admit or something else and saying that CGPA is absolutely useless. But at the back of my head, I know that that is not going to happen because the CGPA is at the end of the day a pretty important metric. So it is not, even if I successfully prove that CGPA is useless, it's not worth letting it go down. Just put your head down and work for it, because you, as I said in this point, a good CGPA can never hurt, but a bad CGPA can. So do focus on it. It's just about trying to prioritize, being pretty consistent with your efforts, looking over your online lectures and so on. In the online section as well, it's very easy to take this for granted, you know. You might just skip across some of these online lectures and just go ahead doing whatever you like, and then before it happens, the midsems might come and so on. And the same system which worked for you in the previous year might not work again, because there are new proctoring and new different systems, and professors are also trying to make assignments and quizzes and everything more resilient to any forms of cheating, malpractice, and so on. So do focus on all of that as well. Try to ensure that whatever you do comes from within, and it's also a good way to understand whether or not you guys are understanding the concept and whether or not mechanical engineering is for you. It is possible that it is not for you, and the best way to gauge it is by actually learning the courses. You might either use any of the other means as such, but what the issue which happens then is that you won't be able to gauge whether or not this is for you. And eventually, when you do come offline, or eventually when you work outside or do anything, you don't want to regret back then. So do focus on CGPA. And one big regret I have with respect to CGPA, like just a couple of minutes ago, I was talking to Vibha about this. Like she said she's going to apply for a couple of fellowships and scholarships. I did not even dare to apply to them because of my CGPA. As you can see in this, around my SEM 4-ish, my CGPA was around 7.62 or something of that sort. And we are talking about people who compete with 9.5 plus. So with a low CGPA, you're almost a lost cause for any of these, including IAS, which is the Indian Academy of Sciences, which gives you in IITs and ISC. That itself expects a high CGPA. So does all these DARD, MITAX, and so on. So getting a good CGPA actually makes a huge difference there. With respect to masters, I don't know. I've had seniors who tell me both sides of the story. However, let's see how that goes as such. But yeah, always if you can choose, if you have to choose between messing up your CGPA or maintaining it, always choose to maintain a good CGPA. It always helps as such. And otherwise also a low CGPA is kind of detrimental because it also affects how you think and it keeps you worried, you know. So yeah, do focus on that. This is possibly the most controversial point which I'm going to make in this entire presentation, which is that specialization is for insects. It's a very famous quote. Just Google it up. I personally believe that specialization is for insects, and that honestly, we as such, as undergraduate students, should not focus on specializing in any particular topic, at least in this undergrad. I advise against the comments and points of hundreds of people who will stand against me as I speak this, to do as much as possible and explore a lot. It's mostly because of this point, the fact that after college you won't be able to explore, okay? Because say for instance that you enter college and you stick to one field and all you do is projects in that field, okay? It's awesome that you found your passion so early and it's awesome that you really like it. But it is highly possible that at some particular stage in the future, you start to either get bored of it, you either start getting, you know, done with it, or it just seems so repetitive that you want to break free. And the moment you decide to break free, you are kind of in a huge problem as such, because you have not gained any other skills out there which you can ideally grapple onto or hold onto as you want to escape. And that is something which I want to emphasize on. And do this in your engineering, because this is possibly the only time you can do it. Once you start working or once you go for masters, it's there in the word masters. A masters is a specialization, but a bachelor's is meant for you to explore. That's why a bachelor's is not something which is very focused. Bachelor's in mechanical engineering covers a huge spectrum. You can do a lot of things. So that's the one thing which I do want to emphasize a lot on. Try to break out and explore multiple fields across topics. You might say, oh my god, I don't want to go into business, I don't want to go into sales, but trust me, there might be something about that you might like, and without trying it you won't know. Maybe it's content development, maybe it's content writing, maybe it is podcasting, maybe it's creating Instagram posts, it could be anything, maybe it's social media marketing. Just try whatever you can as much as possible. But there is one asterisk I should have put over here, which is basically, that being said, know how much you can show. So don't take 1,000 things and then mess up everything, but ensure that you take like 3-4 things at once. If you can manage that, try to do those properly and ensure that they are highly diversified. And then only if you think you can maintain balance, do it. Otherwise, reduce by one and try to do it. But don't try to ensure that everything just focuses on one aspect. I know a lot of seniors who say, okay, if you show that your profile is focused a lot on one field, that is terrific for your master's applications and so on. True, but not many people understand what they truly love. Your goal is to find what you love and to not know what you like, because there are thousands of things that you might like, but what do you truly love and what do you truly hate? I realized that I hated fluids. I hated some aspects related to that entire field, like material science and so on are also there in that corner of stuff which I hate. So I know clearly that at no point will I be confused whether I should take up a domain there because I don't have experience. But there are stuff which I love as well on this side. I know that these are some amazing things which I would enjoy waking up every morning and trying to do. And then there are the things which I like, which are there in the middle, and these are the ones which I want to do a little more research to understand whether or not they're relevant. So always know that as such. Try to do as much as possible because your undergrad is all you have, especially third years who have landed an internship and you don't have anything else to do. Explore other fields. Or if you're in your second year, honestly, if you're going to enter your second year, you will have your club recruitments. Once your club recruitments are done, apart from focusing on your academics, you don't have anything else to focus on. Try to explore other fields, mail professors, try to get some projects, try to read up more about your coursework, do research, and try to see what exactly those fields mean. Advice 4, quantity is sometimes greater than quality. Okay, again, very controversial. Many people would totally disagree. They'd say that having 1 or 2 great things always is way better than having 10 small things. But that's not the point. The point is that if you do 10 things at 10 startups, 10 is a huge number. You can take even smaller. That's not my point. If you can do quite a lot and the amount you learn is greater than quantity can be greater than quality. As opposed to doing the same project and making improvements on it again and again, making it slightly better here and there. Of course, that can have its merits too. I'm not saying no. That's why emphasis on sometimes. But trying to learn a lot and trying to get a lot of experience has had a lot of benefits as well. And one thing which I'd like to say is, if you ever sit down one fine day, you're looking at, when Netflix is loading, you see that black screen, and then you're just thinking, oh wow, I don't have anything to do, then that's kind of a red flag. If you're taking a break or if you're taking a vacation or if you're just taking rest, that's okay. But if you feel this pattern repeating of you coming across this thought of, wow, I don't have anything to do. And when I say anything to do, I don't mean just productive stuff. I mean, even the social stuff, friends, anything productive, anything which can help you, grow as a person, possibly exercise, anything which is beneficial as long as you have, that's great. But anything which comes into a form of leisure which isn't challenging you, then it's kind of a red flag. So just watch out for that. This is a pretty good technique which you can use throughout your 4 years and so on as well. Just keep hindsight of what exactly you feel or what exactly you're doing and whether you're testing your mettle enough. Improve your soft skills. So let me level with you. I am clearly not the smartest person in mechanical, in NITK, or anywhere close. I possibly wouldn't even be in the top 10, 20%, maybe not even 30. I don't even know where I am. However, one thing which I've seen which has propelled me or helped me a lot is communication skills. So this is pretty similar to how people say, like a lot of people hate this fact that there are technical jobs as such where people who have amazing technical skills still fall short of some people whose technical skills are nowhere nearby but can present themselves better, speak better, and so on. And it's true. It's really unfair. Point number one. And it's another example which people say is about beauty and brains. Another totally a parallel discussion. These discussions, although they hold merit, it's the unfair reality of life. So the ability to speak more better, the ability to write better, the ability to cold mail and do all these professional things better, and above all, bullshitting, is something which is really important. No one wants to say it again because it sounds like something which hasn't come from hard work, or it's something which someone may have gained because of their exposure from childhood or school age or anything of that sort. No one wants to agree to this, or no one wants to state it. But these four concepts at the end of the day will make all the difference in the world and could possibly even help you get something over someone else who's far more qualified than you. So don't resist. If you feel that you're not good in public speaking, take a couple of courses, practice, try to figure out what exactly you need to improve as such. Speak to people more in English, possibly do more writing, get some prompts online. There are multiple courses, multiple YouTube videos. But without soft skills, you are kind of in a huge problem. I have seen people who have had terrific technical skills, but have had really, really bad soft skills who've ended up with almost nothing. But at the same time, if you take the other side of the coin, people who have had amazing soft skills but pretty bad, or even to a certain extent really bad technical skills, they've somehow still managed to get some things out. Which kind of, although I reiterate, it's highly unfair, it still is how the world works. So ensure you do whatever you can to improve these soft skills. Sign up for Toastmasters. Do whatever it takes, but get better at these four things. Public speaking is possibly the most important. Writing and cold mailing is something which can come with practice rather easily. You don't need to worry. It's all about fixing your grammar and your spellings as such. And once you're done with that, and if you continuously increase your vocab with time, in a couple of months you'll be a prolific writer. Bullshitting is it's a skill. It's something which comes with practice. It comes when you master these other domains as such. Then a more professional word for bullshitting would actually be impromptu speaking or writing. It's actually the ability to say something immediately. Whether it holds content is proper impromptu speaking, and when it doesn't hold content, or when the water is slightly muddy, that's when you call it bullshitting. But yeah, the idea is that you should be able to combine these skills, and only then will you just get the complete benefit. And if your technical skills are great, and if you combine great soft skills as well, you're virtually unstoppable. And not just technical, whether it's business or anything. If you can combine this, if you can synergize these benefits, it's next to amazing. Now, this slide possibly should have come in the beginning, but it's okay. A lot of people don't know what they want to do. A lot of people don't know what field to explore, what they should do after graduation, what exactly is their calling, what can they make an impact in, what is their passion, and so on. There's no straight answer for this. It's a lot of things which come from within, a lot of soul searching and so on, but this is how you get started. First is try to read these two books. They helped me a lot. It's called The Defining Decade. The Defining Decade basically tells why your 20s are the most important decade which you will be living in your life, and why you should not be taking it for granted. It's written by a psychologist, and she explains how exactly, with respect to work, with respect to your relationships, and with respect to your personal life as such, why the 20s are extremely important and how exactly you should live your life. Born for This is by Chris Guelpello, I guess. Yeah, it's about finding the work which you were meant to do. So there is the kind of work which you are born to do. It's mostly to do with what your inherent skills and talents are, what your inherent what can make you money, what exactly you're good at, what exactly do you like, finding that intersection of all of these and doing great reads. So do check them out if you're confused about what you want to do with life. Even if you're confused about whether you should go for a job or master's or anything, these two books can be pretty beneficial. Watch videos as in not random stuff, but if you don't know, for example, if you should go for software engineering, try to watch videos like a day in the life of a software engineer, a day in the life of a mechanical engineer, a day in the life of a robotics engineer. Try to see videos of Simon Sinek and other motivational speakers, not to get motivated, but to possibly improve these soft skills and so on. And also to get some fresh ideas which you could possibly use. Answer 5 whys. 5 whys was a technique which one of my mentors basically told me about. And the idea is that if I were to ask you why you're going to do anything, okay? So say for example, you tell, I want to work after my BTech. I ask you why. And then you give me a reason supporting why you want to do a job. And then I question that reason 5 times. So it goes on 5 times. If you can successfully give good answers each of the 5 times, then that means whatever decision you're taking is pretty good. So something of that nature would be, I want to do a job because I want to support my family. Why do you want to support my family? Because my family does not have the financial resources right now. Why don't they have the financial resources? Possibly some personal issue. And something of that sort. It goes on for 5 times. But say for example, you stutter. Say for example, you can't find that why. Say you get stuck on the 3rd why. Say, okay, why do you want to do a master's? I want to go abroad. Why do you want to go abroad? It has more opportunities. That's not true. India has quite a lot of opportunities. India is growing at a great rate. Boom, your argument is destroyed. So that is an example of where your 5 whys are extremely important. Ask yourself why 5 times. If you succeed in that, good, you're good to go. Otherwise, you're kind of in trouble. Now, one thing which you need to understand is that people are going for a job and people are going for masters. Their path is extremely different, and acknowledge it. No one can get both and be happy with that. You will kind of need to make the compromise one day or the other. Ideally, what I've noticed is based on what I've noticed, people who go for jobs tend to have a more relaxed 4 years than people who are focused on a master's. Reason being that master's decisions come extremely late, like around Jan or Feb or March of next year is when anyone who is applying for masters will get to know. But jobs are almost they're getting filled right now, and by October, more than 50 to 60% of the people will be placed. And once you get placed, there's practically nothing else to do except for video time and just do whatever. If you want to do some soul searching, learn some personal finance and stuff, that's the entire way if you want to go for jobs. So if you're going for jobs, what I'd recommend is try to get as many industrial internship experiences as possible. I know firsthand of some people who have been rejected from on-campus internships and placements because they have too much research internships and ideas as such. Because when a company sees that you have a lot of research, you have a research bend as such, then they are hesitant to give you an offer because they think you'll go for masters. So it is much better to remove that doubt from their mind by actually focusing on jobs from day one. So try to get in various startups, try to get in various big companies, MNCs, whatever you can. Try to keep accumulating all those type of companies. Can add the occasional research internship or an occasional project which ends up in a research paper, but focus on getting good internships and experience, or even certifications, even courses and so on, which can help you learn new skills, new tools, new softwares and something of that sort. Masters, the program completely changes. You need to work under a prof. You need to ideally, if possible, get a research paper. You need to contact people. You need to call mail. You need to get. You need to be extremely patient. You need to wait for these decisions to come. Stuff of that sort. And yeah, that's about it. I guess that's all I have to say. So try to figure out what exactly your calling is, and based on that, do all of this. Don't forget your CGPA. Explore a lot, because after your bachelor's, you're not going to be able to do it. Even if you go for a job or master's, irrespective, you're not going to be able to do quite a lot. Sometimes quantity is better than quality, but don't, however, bite more than you can chew. And above all, improve your soft skills, and you'll be really grateful for all of that. I guess that's about it. If there are any questions, I'd like to take them at this point.
Guys, if you have any questions, leave it in the chat or you can unmute it.
All right, then. I guess if there are any questions, we can take it after Ekta's. Okay. What is your opinion related to honors? Honestly, I would. Okay, that's actually a very good thing to talk about. It's a great question. First of all, who is this person who asked me this question? Shaikh Dilshad Begum. Okay, can you unmute and tell me, has your batch completed the entire minors honors thing? Have you made your decisions?
Like we are just into the second year.
Okay. You guys have made your decisions already, right?
Not yet.
Have you guys been allotted whatever it is, or do you still have to make your decision?
Yeah, so allotment is not yet.
Okay, so that's good. So if you can make your decision, here are a couple of pointers. There are basically, again, I'm going to be really frank, there are only 3 minors out there which really are useful, and honors as such is always useful. The 3 minors which I feel are truly useful are CSIT. I'm grouping them as one because they can show some amount of programming practice. Management minor if you want to do anything related to management, business, and so on. And third and most underrated one is mathematics. Why would you possibly ever need mathematics? Although I do agree it will be painful for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh semester because they're really hard. Is the point that the mathematics minors course is a boon for anyone who wants to study in Sweden or in Norway. Because I don't know how NITK did it, but it was a brilliant move. All those courses which you do in your minors are what are needed as minimum requirements by the universities and these colleges as such. So if you can get any of these 4 minors actually, CSIT I'm grouping as one, management and mathematics, it's really good. If you're going into something which is more focused like robotics or something, then maybe EC, EEE can be beneficial. Same thing if you're going to automobile, maybe getting electrical is also beneficial. But yeah, these, in my opinion, I've seen these minors as such having a huge impact. When KTH is like 99th or something in the world and #1 in Sweden, and people with math minors, knowing the given the fact that they're coming from NITK, have almost a cakewalk because you meet all the minimum criteria. So that's amazing. So that is one thing. Management minor is really good if you want to go for MEM, MIM, and so on, other courses. CSIT are useful if you want to go for the programming aspect as such. And again, if you mention it in your SOP and stuff, or if you want to go for jobs, a lot of the internships which come right during your internship season will actually give or allow CSIT people to sit for those companies. So if you're one of those, I want a coding job, guys, go for CSIT. You'll also learn quite a lot, which can help you in your tests and stuff. So do go for that. Now coming to your honors are really good, especially for European countries, because European countries actually have greater weightage for honors than this. But it basically comes down to how you present it or how you say that your honors has been beneficial. None of this matters if you don't mention it. If I have a minor and I don't say how it has helped me in my master's journey or any of those decisions, it just doesn't count for anything. But if you can, like, honors shows that you have completely focused on mechanical engineering, that you're really into the field. It's almost like a specialization in your undergrad. So that is beneficial if you're like focused on a master's or a PhD in mechanical engineering. So yeah, then definitely go for it. It's definitely going to be beneficial. Of course, all of this comes with extra coursework, extra difficulty and stuff. But bite through and get go through it. It definitely has a reward in you when you're writing your SOP and presenting stuff of that sort. Yeah. Is there any other question which you guys have? Where do we find all the minor courses we can choose from? Didn't you guys get a PDF? We got a PDF list of all the courses inside each of the minors. So I don't know. I guess you guys should have it. Please do ask your CRs if you're not able to find it. Then yeah, one of us will try to send it to you guys. Yeah, I'll see if I have it, and Karan, I'll see if I can send it to you. But yeah, to give you an idea, math has stuff like real analysis, your differential equations, the kind of stuff which are needed for like the intense mechanical engineering stuff, which is why KTH and all expected from you. So yeah, I don't know the exact courses, but let me see. Just ask us here now. If you're not able to find, just text on the student member group or ask one of the members who are admins over there, and they'll get in touch with me, and I'll see if I can find it. Cool. Any other questions which you guys have? Is there any benefit of honors in placement? Not technically in the sense that no company is going to reject a person because they don't have honors or accept a person just because they have honors. Again, it's about how you sell yourself. If you can tell, oh my god, honors has made me 10% better than all my classmates because the difficulty is so much and because I've learned so much more, and this is why I can be a better fit for your company, then yeah, maybe it is. But otherwise, no. Most of these minors honors usually have much more power when you're talking about your when you go for your higher studies as such, because there you can write in your statement of purpose how all of it ties together. So yeah. However, yeah, in your placements also, yeah, edge over others is the main point. You can get that if you sell it properly, not just in your resume but also in your interviews and stuff. So yeah. But don't worry, none of these tests are going to have honors related material in them, so you're not going to know something which your peers don't. But it is possible for you to just get that edge during the interview season. Like you can tell when they tell you, you will just introduce yourself, you could possibly pitch it and try to impress them as such. It's that type of improvement, yeah. Yeah, Akash has given the explanation of how exactly you guys can see your minor courses. Any other questions? Because I don't want to delay too much. I've taken already quite a lot of time and I'd like Ekta to continue as well. I just allow 1 more minute for any other questions, after which, yeah, if you guys have any other questions, we can have that after Ekta's talk. Okay, I guess that's it. That's it, Vibha. I guess I'm done. You can handle
Yeah, thank you, Chandran. That was a terrific
Thank you.
presentation. All right, so moving on to our next speaker we have for this evening is Ekta Ramnani. She is a final year mechanical undergraduate and she's minoring in electronics and communication engineering. She is also interned at Caterpillar India. She is also a MEC team member at CSD Robocon and ITK. Ekta, over to you.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, all right.
I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it's visible. Go on.
Okay, thank you, Vibha. So, hello everyone. I hope all of you are safe and doing good. So, I'm Ekta, and I'm currently in final year pursuing my BTech in mechanical engineering. And I have minors in electronics and communication engineering. So today I'll be giving a brief introduction of myself, my journey to IEEE, and what all projects I did in my past 3 years. And also later in this section, I'll be covering how to prepare for an internship and some of the tips for group discussion. And I'll be taking some common HR questions which are very much useful for everyone. If you are good if you're good enough to answer those questions, you're good to go to get an internship in a very good place. So, as I already mentioned about my major and minor degree, and I've completed my internship at Caterpillar India in May 2021 to July 2021. That is this year itself. And also, I'm a mechanical member at CST Rubicon in ITK. And I'm also a member of Dance, Drum, and Fashion Club. And my area of interest includes thermodynamics, aerodynamics, renewable energy, and software and robotics. So today I'll be telling you how I found out my area of interest and also how I ended up in securing internship at Caterpillar India. So let's begin with my journey. So when I entered into the college, I didn't know what things interest me. Even I was not aware whether I'm interested in mechanical field or not. So let me start with my first year. So I was not much in technical, in much technical aspect in my first year. I was rather involving in extracurricular activities, which involves various things like I participated in various dance events, including Bharat Darshan. If you guys have really heard that, the people who are in second year. Because of virtual, it doesn't happen now, but yeah, it's a very great event we have in our in ITK. So, and also I participated in ESL Enterprise 2018, and our group actually won that competition. And also, I participated in Spangan 2018, which is again an event which happens in our NITK, but you guys might not aware of this because of this virtual thing. And I was an active member of organizing and publicity team of Engineer 2018 and also a member of Tech Night. So Tech Night is again a sub part of Engineer where we basically develop some projects related to technical aspect where we have mechanical, CS, and EC stuff. We present these projects in engineer. So, so I was not very much, as I mentioned that I was not very much into technical because as first year I didn't have much knowledge as well. But still, in my first year, I'll tell you that I learned using angle triangle and try to, cut a wooden piece using that. And it was really nice first time I experienced something like that. So yeah, it was really nice experience. And one thing I will mention over here is that most of us say that you should focus more on academic part. You should more focus on technical aspects. It's not always true. You should have knowledge of all these things, but apart from that, as already Chandran mentioned, that we need communication skills, which most of the companies look for. So what I found out that while participating in these events, I actually try to develop my technique, communication skills, how to express my own thoughts and to be able to make other people agree to my own point. So all these things help you. You won't realize in your first year, second year that all these things are basically making you a good person. Basically, it's developing your overall personality. You won't realize. You will think that it's waste of time. Maybe at the time when people are asking you to do something related to extracurricular things which is not directly related to your academics, you will definitely find sometimes ki why should I waste my time on these things? But later you will realize that all these things really matters a lot. Some of the companies actually look into your extracurricular activities as well. But yeah, after doing all these activities, I made sure that my CGPA, it's at least above 8.5. So I try to maintain my CGPA at least above 8.5. Now coming to my second year, so at the end of my first year, I started involving in somewhere in technical things, and I started reading on aerodynamics because planes, all these things always attracted me. But I didn't have, good technical knowledge on these things. I didn't have technical concepts on these things. So I tried to develop those things. I tried to develop those concepts related to aerodynamics. And then at the start of second year, we had a course on thermodynamics. Then I found it truly interesting, and it truly interests me a lot. So basically, considering aerodynamics and thermodynamics dynamics as my interest, I applied for IEEE, and as I told these fields as my area of interest and joined IEEE. I also joined DDFC in my second year, and at the end of my second year, I joined CST Rubicon in ITK. So basically, as I told, my area of interest is robotics. So I had an interest, but I was not really sure what all work we have to go through if we are, if we are doing something related to robotics. I wanted to get a feel of that. So I joined CST Rubicon and ITK, and it is really good work we do there. But I also did virtually for a very short period of time. I was there in college, so I really couldn't enjoy it much. But I have heard it's a very, if you are in a college, you will get a very good feel there. Then I joined an ITK handball team as well. Um, Various projects that I did in my second year is design and construction of monocopter, RC column strengthening, electricity generating tiles, and I also did SMP, that is summer mentorship program on aircraft engines at the end of my second year. So I'll be taking these projects in the later session, so I won't be discussing much on this right now. Also, again, I was involved in extracurricular things in my second year as well. So there I won Best Mentor Prize also in Spans in 2019. Again, I was an active member of organizing hospitality team of Engineer 2019 and member of Tech Nights. Coming to my third year, so now it was the time, you will have lots of company will be coming and for internship. And firstly, you have to be make sure that whether you want an industrial training internship or you want to go for a research internship. So you have to find out all these things after, at least, after at the end of your second year. At least at the end of your second year, you should know whether you want to go for a research internship or not. So when I was doing projects, uh, when I was trying to doing learning more and more on on the project and the area of interest which I have, I found out that I never found out that I want to work in an industry. I found out that I don't want to go for a research internship. So if I don't want to go for a research internship, then the other thing is definitely I'll be going for industrial one. So then I started preparing for my internship around, at the end of June, and I secured internship at Caterpillar India. I'll be talking about all these things later in the presentation. And I did my project on design and analysis of jet turbine blade with leading edge vehicles, and there was again Rubicon project was going on, and some of the mini projects we did, which were included like my major and minor is both. Also, in third year, because it was virtual, so what type of extra work I used to do in my first and second year, I didn't have that opportunity to do in my third year. So yeah, coming to my projects, the first one is the current one which I finished in my third year is design and analysis of jet engine turbine blades with leading edge tubicles. So here my motive was to modify the baseline blades which is available right now, which we are using currently in jet engine turbine blades, so that we can have a good performance. So I was trying to compare the performance and characteristics of tubical plates with the common baseline plates. And I found out 2 points like if you are using cubical plates, basically cubical plate is you are trying to impose a sinusoidal curve on your baseline plate and trying to modify the design. And that's how you can get a new, modified blade, and you can compare that with the baseline blade. We use NCS CFD. So first time I familiar with computational fluid dynamics in my third year. Before that, I really didn't have any idea what is CFD and what all this, what whether it will interest me or not. So this way, I got to know it. Like it's not very bad, but I didn't like very much also, to be honest. So this was my first, and next was RC column strengthening. So this was again based on NC structural analysis. So here we were trying to, give the strength of to the columns which are old ones, which have cracks in them by using carbon fiber reinforcement polymer. So we were trying to, put external CFRP layers and trying to strengthen these columns. So that sometimes what happened because of earthquake and all, we there is a great chance that these columns which already have these cracks may fall. And so to protect them, we were trying to give an idea. So we found out in our study that if you're using CFRP layers, if you are externally giving that strength, we are good to go. Like we can have a good strength after that. Next was related to product development. So basically, it was not at all related to analysis. So it was a project related to product development, that is design and development of monocopter. So we basically design and developed a monocopter which gives a view of 360 degree, and also we try to control it using the smartphone. So doing lots of different projects in different fields, I found out that I am little much I'm interested in either product development projects or somewhere in analysis, but not in the design part. So this was my call for myself that this I want or that I want. So doing projects, as Chandran already mentioned, you should have different domains. You should try to explore lots of more domains to better know yourself whether you are liking it or not. So for my suggestion will also be the same, that you should actually try different domains. You should explore a lot of things. As Chandran already mentioned, your bachelor is not something you have to specialize in just one area. Maybe, let's say, right now you have an area of interest and you're liking it very much. You have done all of your projects related to that area of interest, but later at some point of time, maybe at the end of your third year, you find out that you're not interested much in this field now. But now at the end of third year, you don't have anything to change, your domain. It's very difficult to change your domain from after doing a lots of work in one field and then trying to change it. But if you have already some, feel of every domain, then it's good. So now I'll be talking how you can prepare for your internship. So the necessary things which one should do. So first and most important thing is make an attractive resume. So if you might have heard saying all this from everywhere, everyone would have told you the same thing, that make an attractive resume. So yeah, that's true because that's the most important step if you are applying for an internship or maybe for your placement also later on. So, what you can actually mention in your resume. So, I'll give my like what I feel should be there in our resume is definitely your name, your contact details should be there, like your email address, LinkedIn, phone number, and everything. If you really want to make your resume outstand the others, then you can give a small description of yourself. For example, after your name, you can give a small description of yourself as you're a quick learner or you are a problem solver, etc. Then again, you can tenth, and then of course your college. So while writing in a resume, you write it in a way like you have to first tell about the new thing and then you go for the old ones. So basically, let's say you have to mention about your education, then you have to first mention your college thing, like college education, that is in ITK, and then now you can go for your 12 board and then 10 board. Basically, it should be in reverse order. It should not be from old to new, it should be new to old. Is my screen visible? I guess it's not.
No, right now it's stopped sharing.
Um, Yeah, so after your education experience section, you can always tell about your skills, and definitely you can again divide your skills in technical and soft skills. So I prefer to mention both of them because companies look both of them. Okay, so I personally feel that you should mention both of them. Both of them are very important to mention. Then again, you can mention your projects and your achievements if you have any to mention, and your extracurricular activities. Then the most important step after you have made your resume. Most of us actually forget to do this step, but this is very much important. I have reviewed a lots of resume of my juniors and have found a common mistake in them that they have never reviewed their resume. After you have finished making your resume, the first thing you have to do is always review your resume. Always, always, always. Don't forget to review your resume because sometimes you might have done lots of mistakes and it doesn't look good if you directly send it to the company which for which you are applying. It really looks very irresponsible and lots of other things. So it doesn't give a good impact of yours. So, and also once you have reviewed your resume, also ask your friend or maybe your senior to review your resume. That's the most important thing you should do. Next, coming to after finishing your resume, next, okay, for online tests, most of the mechanical companies include aptitude questions and as well as technical questions, and some of them include verbal part as well. That is very very that part is very easy, very common. So I don't think we anyone needs to prepare for that. But yeah, if you want to, you can have lots of courses. You can find lots of courses online. You can just go through that. But I don't really think that one really needs because it's very easy. So the most important thing you should actually focus that is aptitude question practice. Lots of aptitude questions. What I have seen, some of the people actually ignore this part, thinking that this part they can actually crack. They can actually uh, go through this part. This is very easy and thinking that they usually focus just on technical part. But from my side, I will say. Aptitude questions, yeah, it's familiar to you. It will be familiar to you for sure. If you're writing the test, it will be familiar. But you need speed and accuracy for these companies to, get into, to clear that round. You really need it. So you should practice aptitude questions a lot. And most of the time, I have observed if you don't have technical knowledge as well, much technical knowledge, still you can, clear the test by just be good in your aptitude. So next step is revise your notes of second year mechanical courses where you have thermodynamics, fluids, etc. I'll be again coming to that part. So next is go through for the interview round for the technical interview round. What I have observed, they usually don't ask you any technical questions. They have already asked technical questions in your online test. Now they will ask questions from your resume. So you have to be very you have to go through your resume very thoroughly. You should know properly about your projects and everything. See, they also understand that as a after after the second year, like, a second year student doesn't have much technical knowledge because we study our own branch courses only for 1 year. So we definitely don't have much technical knowledge. But again, they are expecting whether you know a lot more about your project or not, and they will ask about your contribution in that project sheet. So you should be prepared to tell what is your project. You should summarize your projects very nicely. to give them a um, good thing about you, that okay, you know very well about your project. And again, you should you should prepare some HR questions as well for HR round. Sometimes people again ignore these questions. Even I didn't prepare for my internship, but maybe some things which I had adopted helped me to clear HR round as well, which I'll be telling you in the last slide. So let me again go back to the important mechanical topics. So what I have seen, like most of the companies in their online tests ask questions from thermodynamics, strength of materials, fluids, manufacturing. Yes, most of the companies ask questions from thermodynamics. For sure, they'll ask from thermodynamics, and most of them actually cover the cycles we have. That is Carnot cycle, Brayton cycle, Rankine, Otto, and diesel cycles. Basically, they'll give PV and TS diagram of that, and they will ask you to, tell which one is Carnot or Brayton cycle. This I have observed in Caterpillar test and also in exam test, and I guess it was there in Bajaj also. So yeah, and again, IC engine, some IC engine knowledge should be there. For example, knocking, what is knocking, compression ratio, some basic terms you should always know because they ask questions from there also. Coming to strength of materials, you should firstly know about stress strain curve for brittle and ductile, how they vary. Um, Next is fluids. Fluids, I will say, they generally ask questions from your Newtonian fluids and non-Newtonian fluids curve, which we have between shear stress versus rate of shear strain. So they ask directly questions from there, how they vary with each other. So that you should know. Manufacturing, sometimes they ask about coupling, welding, or casting processes, so you should know about all these things. And gears also, they have asked questions from gears as well. I have seen. At least Caterpillar, I remember they asked questions from gears. Okay, so yeah. Next is some tips for group discussion. So after you have cleared your online test, the next step for mechanical companies is to have to clear group discussion round. So firstly, you should understand what does the company want to know. Like, why are they actually keeping group discussion? You should first know about that. So company are looking your communication skills. Basically, they are testing your communication skills, how good you are at convincing people. Basically, let's say you have forth an opinion. How many people are agreeing to your that opinion? What matters a lot. Okay. Maybe you are sometimes against everyone, but still, if you are good in convincing others by putting your opinion very nicely or not. And next is how flexible you are in accepting others' views. Basically, if let's say you have a different opinion on that particular topic, but are you open to new ideas what they are looking for? Because sometimes while working in a team, you should have this flexibility to accept others' point of view as well. Because sometimes happens like you are only the one who are against everyone, but majority of the people are not with you. So you have to agree, you have to accept that decision, right? So you should have that flexibility to accept others' views, to open for new ideas. Again, the most important skill which I really focus on is listening skills. If your listening skills are very good, then you will definitely clear this group discussion round. What happens sometimes if you don't have any knowledge on that topic, the topic which has been given to you, still if you are listening properly to the others, you can actually try to gather all the thoughts of others and try to make your own point out of that. And definitely you will have a little understanding of the topic. Okay, what is the topic for about, like how, what else you can speak and everything. So basically you have to gather the thoughts of everyone and put it in a uh, sequence manner and just say it in your own way. So this way also you can do, but you can do if you are listening them properly. Again, a team leader or a team player. So basically, sometimes what happens, the people who are actually trying to, give a chance to everyone and who is trying to lead the group discussion is basically considered as team leader. So basically, sometimes they try to, get to know whether you are a team leader or you can be a good team player, basically team member. And also they definitely check your understanding and knowledge on various subjects or various topics, like whatever is going on around us, like in the surrounding, whether you are aware of that or not. Basically, current affair, current topics you should be aware of. So the points you should keep in mind is, firstly, I will suggest to keep a pen and a paper with you at the time of group discussion, because this will help you to to write down your own ideas and also others ideas, whatever they are telling. Let's say, for example, someone has put forth an opinion, so you want to either go against with that opinion, or maybe you can speak with that person, you can go for that person as well. So either you are supporting or you're disagreeing with that person. You should take that person's name, and then you should continue your point. This actually gives a good impact, a positive impact of yours to the person who is there for judging you for group discussions. So basically, you have to make sure write the all the participants' name in your sheet, in your blank paper, and also always write your ideas on that. And whenever you get an opportunity, just mention those. Again, for virtual, I will say definitely always look into the camera, and if you are offline, then always try to maintain eye contact with the person who is speaking and give a gesture of like you are listening to them, something like that. Because these things, these are very small things, but all these things get noticed in your group discussion. Okay, so next is. Take names of your fellow mates, which I've already mentioned. Like if you are trying to support a person or disagreeing with that person, you should try to take name of that person. Don't say, okay, as this person said that. Don't say this person or that person. You should always try to mention the name of the person you are trying to support or disagree. And don't be aggressive, or you just can't directly say, okay, I disagree with this person. Like be polite, and don't get into heated argument. Why, if someone is not favoring your opinion, don't do that, because it's a discussion. So it's not a debate, so you just can't go in a heated argument and try to convince everyone whatever you are thinking. No, if people are getting convinced with your points easily, then it's fine. Your points should be that much strong that people are getting convinced by themselves. You should not have to argue and you know involve in lots of other angry gestures or something like that. And also, it's good to give chance others also to speak. If someone don't do this way, that sometimes people try to think this way, that if they'll only constantly speak, then other person won't definitely won't get chance only, so they can easily get through the group discussion. No, you have to give chance others as well to speak and listen to them carefully, and then put forth your opinion, your thoughts properly. Relevant thoughts are also kept, like your thoughts should be relevant. It should not be out of the topic, because again, then you won't be clearing that wrong. Again, there are sections in the group discussion, that is the start of a group discussion, then body, and then after that, end a conclusion of the group discussion. So most of you people might have heard from your seniors or some people that starting a group discussion or ending it is a good opportunity. You can always impress the person who is judging you, who is listening you, basically. So I will say that starting and ending definitely give you a positive plus point. But on the other side, if you let's say if your start is very bad, then it will definitely count as a negative points. So you have to make sure that whenever you are starting a group discussion, then you should be very confident enough about your thoughts or the data and the things that the data and the facts and the the relevant thoughts, whatever you have, they are good enough to ice break the thing. So start is basically a icebreaker. So if you are very good in starting, then definitely it will add the positive point. But if you are if your start was not good, it will definitely add you for the negative point as well. Second is body. Basically, you can always try to go second or third. That is good to go. And at the end, if someone is concluding, definitely you can conclude. There is a plus point of concluding, but while concluding, you have to make sure that you are just not speaking your opinion, but rather speaking others' opinion, basically covering others' opinion, your opinion, and then find out the middle ground and conclude your group discussion. So this will definitely, if you are doing this way ending, then definitely you have a great chance to clear that group discussion. Now coming to some common HR question, how to answer in an interview or something. So the most common HR question we find is tell me about yourself. It looks like very easy. We can easily introduce ourselves like, okay, I'm Ekta and I'm doing, I'm currently in my final year, I'm doing this or that. You can always say this way, and you will feel like what else you can speak about, or what else you can speak on that. But no, you have, this is a very complicated question when it comes to, when you have to answer it in a proper way, in a very, sequence way. Then first you should understand what does the company want to know by asking this question. So they already know your name. They have gone through your resume. They already know your name, your plans, everything. Okay. So what does they want to know is basically what is the most important to you. Basically, it's your work which is very important, whether you are dedicated, committed to your work or not. Again, are you fit for that job or not? That is the most important element which companies really want to know, whether you are a good fit for this job or not. So how can we, what is the structure of the answer can be seat. You can remember seat. Basically, this is S from skills and qualities. You can always start off definitely with your introducing yourself by telling your name, your branch, whatever you're doing. Then by adding your skills, like you are a quick learner, you are hardworking, you're very smart, or something like that. Always give a really good start to answer this type of question, and then you can tell about your experience if you have any and your education. Maybe you can tell your CGPA, what is your CGPA and everything. Again, this is again achievements. If you have any achievements to tell, as a fresher, we don't have much achievements, so we don't have much things to talk about on achievements. But here you can always talk about the courses you have gone through, like online courses that you have done, certified courses that you have done. So you can always tell, but make sure whatever courses you are mentioning should match to the profile they are looking for. Okay, so next is type of a person you are basically, if this thing will answer, are you fit for this job or not? Here you have to tell your skills which align with the job profile they are looking for. So you can basically merge A and T. A is your, I won't say you have to tell your achievements. You can tell about your certified courses, and then you can tell about your skills which make you fit for this job. Basically, your courses, your skills should align with the job profile they have come for. Next few more questions are, what are your future plans? So you should prepare these questions. I really feel, because everyone will answer, if everyone has to answer this question, they will simply say, okay, I want to do a job or I want to do this. But no, you have to be very impressive. Then only you can, stand out. You can be different from others. You can show your different personality from others. Otherwise, everyone will answer. Definitely, if they are asking the question, what are your future plans? And if you know, okay, I want to do a job, then you will simply say, oh, I want to do a job. So everyone is saying this. So how your answers are different from the others? You should have to think about that. Next is why should we hire you? Again comes your you have to tell your skills and everything which are aligned to your job profile. Okay, so again, in your future plans, sometimes what happens, some people are usually not sure whether they want to go for masters in after after their bachelor or not. But they for now they are looking for an internship in a company. So you don't have to mention that you want to go for masters and not for a job. You don't have to because otherwise they'll think, okay, if you are interested in going for masters, then why are you doing this internship over in this company? So this give a little negative thing. They feel, okay, why should they hire you when you are interested in doing masters rather than doing work in a corporate company? So I will suggest for interview that prepare your answers according to the job profile you have applied for. So for different companies, your answers might vary. So definitely you have to work on that aspect and you have to make sure that your answers are very different from others so that you can clear this round as well. One tip which I followed and I will like to give you all is sometimes what happens, we have a pre-placement talks. We usually have pre-place, almost all company keep a pre-placement talk, okay, before online test, or some keep after online test, but before your interview, okay. So sometimes what happens, people generally don't listen those talks. Those talks are mandatory. So if you're applying for that company, then definitely you have to attend that talk. But sometimes if you're there also, physically if you're present also, but mentally not, then that won't help you. What I have followed is that I have always listened their pre-placement talk, which has given some idea of what type of profile they are looking for. So this helped me to, to make my own answers according, which are aligned to the job profile. So I remember last year when I was interviewing for Caterpillar. So I answered my, I didn't plan anything because no one was there to tell me I should answer this or that way. All these things which I'm telling you, I experienced these things in telling you. So at that point of time, there was not much details I got that I should answer this way, and even I didn't prepare much because Caterpillar was the first company to come for internship for mechanical people. So I was really not prepared, but I listened their pre-placement talk properly, and then I somehow answered that way only. Like I somehow tried to put myself, my personality in that way that which align with the job profile, and that is the most important thing you should actually focus on. So that's all from my side. Thank you, everyone. I hope it will help you in future. If any of you have any questions, you can ask me.
Guys, you can put your questions in the chat box or unmute and ask directly.
Okay, so one question is, how did taking the easy minor help you? Well, to be honest, I tried to take easy minor because, as I told initially, that I didn't know whether I am interested in mechanical field or not. So what I thought was in my at the end of my first year when we had to choose our minor, that coding I can learn on my own and I can have a feel of easy as well by taking easy minor. So I learned coding. I learned C++, Python, all these things, and DSA. I'm a little bit into coding as well. So I learned all these things and I found that my interest is little bit towards coding only. So this was just to, maybe I thought maybe if I'll develop my interest in EC, then I can go for mechatronics and robotics. It will help me. But it really didn't, I couldn't develop my interest there much. So yeah, I won't say it helped me a lot, but yeah, it's good to have a knowledge of every field to, get to know whether you are interested in this or that, so that you never have a regret of anything, whether if you would have taken this or you would have taken that, then you would loved it. I hope I answered you. See, coming to the non-exclusive clubs, lots of things you learned in non-exclusive clubs as well. See, in Robocon, we have Robocon, Baha, Park, all these clubs which are non-exclusive, but these people actually, I feel, work a lot towards. Technically, if we speak, then they have lots of technical knowledge they gain, and I personally feel if you are very much looking for technical, mechanical field or your whatever your technical aspect, then these clubs really help you to develop your technical skills a lot. And since they actually involve in a competition which is happening on world on a world platform, so definitely you have to work hard, very hard to get it to to get for further round, to get selected for further rounds, and you really learn a lot of things. And to be honest, I feel that these clubs made you learn a lot more than the exclusive clubs. Maybe exclusive clubs are more good for your other skills, but for your developing your soft skills and all. But yeah, still you have projects, technical projects in exclusive clubs which help you. But still, I believe that non-exclusive clubs, Robocan and all, give you more, good idea of technical skills, and basically a very core work you do there. You have manufacturing work, you have lots of other works, like you have to understand the things, you have manufacturing aspects. So if basically all of your courses, basic courses in mechanical covered in that. They usually give the projects. I know about Caterpillar. Last but not this year, but before that, they actually allow interns only to propose their projects and work on those projects. So whatever project interests you, yeah, definitely it should align to the it should definitely whatever project you are proposing should help the company also. So the project should be in common with for the company and you. So they allow people interns only to propose the projects and work on that. But this year they didn't do that. They gave projects on their own, but still they try to make sure that whatever your area of interest is, you get projects related to that. I usually can't tell you my problem statement because it's confidential, but yeah, these people with Caterpillar try to make sure that you get a project related to your area of interest. But definitely they should have those projects in their hand, which aligns with your interest as well.
Ekta, there's another question about how did you manage clubs, internship, projects, work, and neither simultaneously?
Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you that in my second year, that was my sixth semester. It was that is my fourth semester, sorry. So it was really hectic for me because lots of things were going on. I was actually part. I joined an RTK handball team, Robocon team, everything at the at the end of that part. Maybe you can say the start of my fourth semester. So it was really hectic. But when it comes to managing the things, you can every each and every person around you actually is doing a lots of work, is doing multiple of work, which motivates you, which basically gives you motivation to handle to manage all these things easily. So it's not very difficult to manage all these things. As you can see, Chandran also has done a lots of internship projects and lots of other things also. He is a very active member. He was involved in various things. So yeah, so by looking, people around you motivates you, and you will definitely find it very easy to manage everything. So when you will come to this, when you have to manage all these things, multiple things you have to manage, you will definitely learn by yourself. Basically, I'll say NITK make a person multitasking.
We'll wait one more minute for any questions that they may have.
Yeah, sure. See, modeling softwares, if you're talking that while recruitment, I don't think it helps, but yeah, it's good if you know something, like if you know some design softwares or any modeling software, you can say. So it's good to know, and anyway, you should learn because as a mechanical engineer, we should know design software, at least one design software. So I also learned during my second year when I had lots of projects. I learned various softwares like CATIA, SolidWorks, and NC structural analysis and all. So you should learn because definitely what technical skills then you will show in your resume. So you have to make your resume attractive, but they don't usually ask questions from your this thing. And even after recruitment, let's say if you don't have if you don't know any modeling software as well, and you get selected for the internship. So it might possible whatever work they are giving you, you have to use those software. You are required to use that software. So you should always have a basic knowledge of these softwares, how to use them. Maybe not very maybe you're not very fluent in that. That's fine, but at least having basic knowledge of these software will tell you whether you can use this software for this type of project or not. At least this will give some idea. This is my opinion personally. And I will suggest learn MATLAB also, like basics of MATLAB.
Okay, so I think that's all we have from questions. I don't see any more questions. In case you have any more questions in the future, also, you guys can always reach out to the seniors. And thank you, Ekta. That was a terrific talk, very detailed. Thank you so much for taking time. And to all the juniors, also, thank you so much for attending the Inside Talk series. I hope you guys all had something to take from them. and got any of your questions sorted, got some better idea about the remaining years of engineering. And on a concluding note, we will be posting all the 3 days talk recordings on YouTube, so you could always go back and check it out there. So that's all for today. Have a nice evening. Thank you, guys.